Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, it's Margo. This is Tuesday, November 29th, 2016, and I'm continuing with the readings of the Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 1, talking about the Essenes, and this is part 7 of the series. And in case you haven't heard the other parts, go back and listen to them. They're really interesting. The Essenes, in case you're not familiar with them, were a religious sect that lived around the time of Jesus. There were a lot of them a couple of hundred years before Jesus, and then about 100. They existed to about 100 years after Jesus, and then they were killed off. But they were vegetarian. They were peaceful and non-warring. They lived in communities, usually outside of major cities. Men and women were equal in status. They believed in reincarnation. They believed that people could communicate directly with God in the angelic realm. They did have prophetic people among them, and they were actually prophesying the coming of Christ. They believed in one God. They did not participate in any blood sacrifices for offerings. They were keepers of ancient texts and knowledge. They were scribes, healers, doctors, and teachers. And they were agrarian and grew vegetables and all of their food in a desert climate. They lived lives of virtue. And so they were pretty much outside the box from the way the rest of the world was living back then. And it is believed that Jesus and John the Baptist were part of the Essene community. And the doctrines, the Essene Gospel of Peace was found as part of the Dead Sea Scrolls that were discovered in 1945 in 10 caves outside of or around the Dead Sea. Specifically in Qumran is where this one Essene community was that was very active when around the time of Jesus. And so my books came in yesterday. I haven't even opened the package yet. I'm going to take my time and get into them. But I did order some more books about the Dead Sea Scrolls and the life and times of the people living back then. I'm thinking this is a missing link for us because it's also believed that the Christian doctrines came from the Essenes, and then the Christian Bible, of course, was edited, and a whole bunch of stuff happened at the Nicene Council. Decided which books were going to go into the Bible and which books weren't, and a lot of them were left out. And so I don't think we got the whole picture. We got part of the picture, but I don't think we got the whole picture. So I'm really enjoying the Essene Gospel of Peace and the Essene messages. I'm going to be reading to you from the Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 1. The original Hebrew and Aramaic text translated and edited by Edmund Bordeaux Zekeli, and it was published by the International Biogenic Society in 1981. And what I read to you yesterday was where Jesus had been with the people and had talked to them about their diet. Once they went through a lot of their cleansing, they're saying, what can we do to follow God's laws? And he said the first thing is to not kill anything, even animals. And the only time you should kill an animal is if a human is coming under attack from an animal. But even then, you're not supposed to eat the flesh of any animals. That flesh was not meant to be part of our diet. That God created, and from Mother Earth, everything that we need comes from Mother Earth. The vegetables and the plants and the fruits and the nuts and things, and the water and the air. That's all we need comes from Mother Earth, and that's that we were created as this big part of this symbiotic system, but we were not supposed to kill the animals and eat their flesh, but it was okay to drink of the milk from the animals, but not kill them. And so where I ended, the followers were saying, but what about the laws of Moses, the 10 Commandments? And then at the end, Jesus was saying that because we couldn't keep, that the people could not keep the 10 Commandments, then 10 times 10 Commandments, or 100 times 10 Commandments were made by the Pharisees. 10 by 10, 10 times 10 the scribes, and then the Pharisees made 100 times 10 commandments to make unbearable burdens on their shoulders that they themselves could not carry. And so it was all these laws that we can't follow. And so they said, all were astonished at his wisdom and asked him, continue, Master, and teach us all the laws which we can receive. And that's where I'm picking up. And Jesus continued, God commanded your forefathers, thou shalt not kill. But their heart was hardened, and they killed. Then Moses desired that at least they should not kill men. And he suffered them to kill beasts. And then the heart of your forefathers was hardened yet more, and they killed men and beasts likewise. But I do say to you, kill neither men nor beasts, nor yet the food which goes into your mouth. For if you eat living food, the same will quicken you. But if you kill your food, the dead food will kill you also. For life comes only from life, and from death comes always death. For everything which kills your foods kills your bodies also. And everything which kills your bodies kills your souls also. And your bodies become what your foods are, even as your spirits likewise become what your thoughts are. Therefore, eat not anything which fire or frost or water has destroyed, for burned, frozen, and rotted foods will burn, freeze, and rot your body also. Be not like the foolish husbandman, who sowed in his ground cooked and frozen and rotten seeds. And the autumn came, and his fields bore nothing, and great was his distress. But be like that husbandman, who sowed in his field living seed, and whose field bore living ears of wheat, paying 100-fold for the seeds which he planted. For I tell you truly, Live only by the fire of life, and prepare not your foods with the fire of death, which kills your foods, your bodies, and your souls also. So he's talking about cooking, not cooking the food, and living on living live foods, which is like a live raw food diet, which I did for a while. It was not easy, but I did it. And they say, Master, where's the fire of life? Asked some of them. And he says, in you, in your blood, and in your bodies. And the fire of death? Asked others. He says, it is the fire which blazes outside your body, which is hotter than your blood. With that fire of death you cook your foods in your homes and in your fields. I tell you truly, it is the same fire which destroys your foods and your bodies, even as the fire of malice, which ravages your thoughts, ravages your spirits. For your body is that which you eat, and your spirit is that which you think. Eat nothing, therefore, which is stronger fire than the fire of life is killed. Wherefore, prepare and eat all fruits of trees, and all grasses of the fields, and all milk of beasts good for eating. For all these are fed and ripened by the fire of life. All are the gift of the angels of our earthly mother, but eat nothing to which only the fire of death gives savor, for such is of Satan. And they say, how should we cook our daily bread without fire, Master? Asked some with great astonishment. He says, let the angels of God prepare your bread. Moisten your wheat, that the angel of water may enter it. Then set it in the air, that the angel of air may embrace it. And leave it from morning to evening beneath the sun, that the angel of sunshine may descend upon it. And the blessing of the three angels will soon make the germ of life to sprout in your wheat. Then crush your grain, and make thin wafers, as did your forefathers when they departed out of Egypt, the house of bondage. Put them back again beneath the sun from its appearing, and when it is risen to its highest in the heavens, turn them over on the other side, that they be embraced there also by the angel of sunshine, and leave them there until the sun be set. For the angels of water, of air, and of sunshine fed and ripened the wheat in the field, and they likewise must prepare also your bread. And the same sun which, with the fire of life, made the wheat to grow and ripen, must cook your bread with the same fire. For the fire of the sun gives life to the wheat, to the bread, and to the body. But the fire of death kills the wheat, the bread, and the body. And the living angels of the living God serve only living men. For God is the God of the living, and not the God of the dead. So eat always from the table of God, the fruits of the trees, the grain and grasses of the field, the milk of beasts, and the honey of bees. For everything beyond these is of Satan, and leads by the way of sins and diseases unto death. But the foods which you eat from the abundant table of God give strength and youth to your body, and you will never see diseases, for the table of God fed Methuselah of old. And I tell you truly, that if you live even as he lived, then will the God of the living give you also long life upon the earth, as was his. For I tell you truly, the God of the living is richer than all the rich of the earth. And his abundant table is richer than the richest table of feasting of all the rich upon the earth. Eat, therefore, all your life at the table of our earthly mother, and you will never see want. And when you eat at her table, eat all things even as they were found on the table of the earthly mother. Cook not, neither mix all things one with another, lest your bowels become as steaming bogs. For I tell you truly, this is abominable in the eyes of the Lord. And be not like the greedy servant who always ate up at the table of his Lord the portions of others, and he devoured everything himself and mixed all together in his gluttony. And seeing that, his Lord was wroth with him and drove him from the table. And when all had ended their meal, he mixed together all that remained upon the table, and called the greedy servant to him and said, Take and eat all this with the swine, for your place is with them, not at my table. Take heed, therefore, and defile not with all kinds of abominations the temple of your bodies. Be content with 2 or 3 sorts of food, which you will find always upon the table of our earthly mother. And desire not to devour all things which you see around you. For I tell you truly, if you mix together all sorts of food in your body, then the peace of your body will cease, and endless war will rage in you, and it will be blotted out, even as homes and kingdoms divided against themselves work their own destruction. For your God is the God of peace, and does never help division. Arouse not, therefore, against you the wrath of God, lest he drive you from his table, and lest you be compelled to go to the table of Satan, where the fire of sins, diseases, and death will corrupt your body. And when you eat, never eat unto fullness. Flee the temptations of Satan, and listen to the voice of God's angels. For Satan in his power tempt you always to eat more and more, but live by the Spirit, and resist the desires of the body. And your fasting is always pleasing in the eyes of the angels of God. So give heed to how much you have eaten, when your body is sated, and always eat less by 1/3. Let the weight of your daily food be not less than a mina, but mark that it go not beyond 2. Then will the angels of God serve you always, and you will never fall into the bondage of Satan and of his diseases. Trouble not the work of the angels in your body by eating often, for I tell you truly, he who eats more than twice in the day does in him the work of Satan. And the angels of God leave his body, and soon Satan will take possession of it. Eat only when the sun is highest in the heavens, and again when it is set, and you will never see disease, for such finds favor in the eyes of the Lord. And if you will that the angels of God rejoice in your body, and that Satan shun you afar, then sit but once in the day at the table of God, and then your days will be long upon the earth, for this is pleasing in the eyes of the Lord. Eat always when the table of God is served before you, and eat always of that which you find upon the table of God. For I tell you truly, God knows well what your body needs and when it needs. For the coming of the month of Ajar, I don't know what month that is, eat barley. For the month of Sivan, eat wheat, the most perfect among all seed-bearing herbs. and let your daily bread be made of wheat. And I'm going to interrupt here because, like I was saying yesterday, it's unfortunate that wheat has been so polluted and so modified that our bodies cannot digest it. And I think this is just a sign of how Satan has taken over creation, and one of the reasons that wheat was modified so much, because Jesus knew and Jesus taught that it was the most perfect of all seed-bearing herbs. So Satan would come in and pollute that one that Jesus says, this is the one. So anyway, we do have to modify. I'm thinking we really have to modify even what Jesus is teaching here, because it's everything has been polluted. GMO, a lot of stuff has been GMO'd, and then with the chemtrails and the nanobots, we can't even really get pure food, and even organic food is not totally pure because, the water is polluted with the chemicals and the nanobots. I mean, even unless you just make your own water, get your own water and purify it and distill it and grow all your food in a greenhouse, and the dirt is all pure and everything, it's impossible. I'm thinking it's just impossible to really get anything totally pure anymore. And this is what Satan has done. This is what Satan has done. He has hijacked our creation. He has hijacked Mother Earth and the creation, and the beautiful creation. And it's just going to get worse. And with the nanobots and the seeds of the nanobots growing in us, it's growing the machines in us. And with my clients, when I work with them, just a little interjection, I do see energetically into their bodies and see what's going on with their bodies. Not only am I seeing implants, but I'm seeing what's going on with their digestion, with their organs. I can see if an organ is overloaded or out of balance. I can see if their intestines are if they need to do cleanses. I can see if they're inflamed. I've seen all of this, and I know that in Chinese medicine, all the organs of the body are connected to certain meridians, and the liver meridian is connected with anger and sorrow, and mainly anger. And so if you have a lot of anger and you can't get rid of anger and you've been working on it, it could be that you need to really do an intestinal cleanse and cleanse your liver. And, it's one thing to get your energetic body back in balance, but you can't really do that unless you get your physical body back in balance too. And so I can do my part of, as far as I can go energetically, but unless the client does their part and gets their physical body as clean as possible and it's, cleared out, then things are going to be returning. So, and it may not be demonic, but it may be demonic. It's just hard to know. But it's you've got to do your part. Everybody has to do their own work, and this is what people don't understand. They think that once the energetic healing is done, then they don't have to do their own work. But they do have to do their own work, and it's constant, 24/7, 24/7. And it's getting harder every day. It's getting darker every day. And so this is why we really need to stay focused on our spiritual reality. And asking for God and Jesus to help us with all of this. Okay, so I'm continuing. He continues, and let your daily bread be made of wheat, that the Lord may take care of your bodies. From the Tammuz eat the sour grape, that your body may diminish, and Satan may depart from it. And in the month of Elul, gather the grape, that the juice may serve you as drink. In the month of Marchesvan, gather the sweet grape, dried and sweetened by the angel of sun, that your bodies may increase, for the angels of the Lord dwell in them. You should eat figs rich in juice in the months of Ab and Shebat. And what remain, let the angel of sun keep them for you. Eat them with the meat of almonds in all the months when the trees bear no fruits. And the herbs which come after rain, these eat in the month of Thebet, that your blood may be cleansed of all your sins. And in the same month begin to eat also the milk of your breasts. Because of this did the Lord give the herbs of the fields to all the breasts which render milk, that they might with their milk feed man. For I tell you truly, happy are they that eat only at the table of God, and eschew all the abominations of Satan. Eat not unclean foods brought from far countries, but eat always that which your trees bear. For your God knows well what is needful for you, and where and when. And he gives to all peoples of all kingdoms for food that which is best for each. Eat not as the heathen do, who stuff themselves in haste, defiling their bodies with all manner of abominations. For the power of God's angels enters into you with the living food which the Lord gives you from his royal table. And when you eat, have above you the angel of air, and below you the angel of water. Breathe long and deeply at all your meals, that the angel of air may bless your repasts, and chew well your food with your teeth, that it become water, and that the angel of water turn it into blood in your body. And eat slowly, as it were a prayer you make to the Lord. For I tell you truly, the power of God enters into you if you eat after this manner at his table. But Satan turns into a steaming bog the body of him upon whom the angels of air and water do not descend at his repasts. And the Lord suffers him no longer at his table. For the table of the Lord is an altar, and he who eats at the table of God is in a temple. For I tell you, truly, the body of the Son of Man is turned into a temple, and his inwards into an altar, if he does the commandments of God. Wherefore, put not upon the altar of the Lord when your spirit is vexed, neither think upon anyone with anger in the temple of God, and enter only into the Lord's sanctuary when you feel in yourselves the call of his angels. For all that you eat in sorrow, or in anger, or without desire, becomes a poison in your body. For the breath of Satan defiles all these. Place with joy your offerings upon the altar of your body, and let all evil thoughts depart from you when you receive into your body the power of God from his table. And never sit at the table of God before he call you by the angel of appetite. Rejoice, therefore, always with God's angels at their royal table, for this is pleasing to the heart of the Lord. And your life will be long upon the earth, for the most precious of God's servants will serve you all your days, the angels of joy. And I'm going to stop there. We're out of time. So what Jesus is saying here is when you go to eat, you want to eat in a holy manner. You want to clear your mind. You don't want to have anger. You don't want to be discussing things that are going to be upsetting. In fact, the Essenes would take their meals in silence, and they would pray before their meal. And do consecrate your food and pray over your food and ask for it to nourish and heal you, and thank God for your food and for Mother Earth for your food, and ask for it to nourish and heal you. And take your time in eating the food and chewing and chew, and then breathe too, so that it is a ceremony, because you are feeding the temple, the earthly temple, which is our body, which is how we interface with the divine. So I'm going to end it there for today. And just another thing, I've been hearing some recent things that they think the end is soon, maybe the rapture, maybe evacuation, I don't know. But just be discerning and be prepared. Sit tight. Don't become upset. Don't get caught up in all of the drama of the world. Try to go within and remain calm and connect with your divine to have your own guidance. I'm Margo. My website is margoshealingcorner.com. I have a YouTube channel at Margo's Healing Corner. I'm a hypnotist, holistic life coach, and spiritual healer. And I work worldwide through the internet, on Skype, or on phone, by phone if you're in the U.S. or Northern America. So I'm available, and I offer free consultation screening session to see if we would like to work together. I've been focusing on removal of implants and energetic blockages and healing of the energy body and getting people reconnected with their divine. So if you'd like to work with me, go ahead and contact me, and we'll see what we can do. I also do other kinds of hypnosis. My specialty is stress management, and I also work with UFO contactees, star family, get you reconnected with your star family to see what specific messages they might have for your guidance, past life regression, also accessing the subconscious mind, which is where your soul stores everything. So I hope you enjoyed our show today, our reading. So I will continue on a daily basis as I can with the Essene message. I think it's important that we get different viewpoints and open your mind. Take off your old belief reality cap and open your mind to new realities and new thoughts and new beliefs, because this is how we learn and grow and discern. So thank you for listening, and stay cloaked and shielded, and God bless, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.